Washington Park covers 4 acres in the heart of Quincy's downtown district. It boasts being the first park in the city and at one time was considered to be one of the finest parks in the area in comparison to St. Louis and Chicago, with an estimated value of $225,000. It was also the location of many historical events throughout the years, including the Lincoln-Douglas debate of 1858, a speech from Theodore Roosevelt in 1903, and President Bill Clinton's speech in 2000. Early in 1825, the Illinois legislature created a new county here and named it Adams for the president at the time, John Quincy Adams. A commission named the existing village as county seat, calling it Quincy, also for the president. When the village of Quincy was platted, it was ordered that Block 12 be laid off with a public square. In mid-April 1825, the first name given to Block 12 of the original town of Quincy was John's Square, or John's Prairie, to complete the name of the president. However, the name of John Square failed to win approval of the early citizens, and for more than 20 years it was simply called the Public Square until 1857, when the city limits were expanded eastward and the city council christened the square Washington Park. On account of the many ravines which intersected various streets, innovative citizens driving horses started a path from the southeast to the northwest corner of the square in order to drive from Main to Hampshire Street. Now later, this path led to the establishment of the diagonal sidewalks throughout the park. For many years, the square was a popular camping place for persons from the county and travelers who had stopped here before continuing on west. Horses, cows, pigs, and other livestock roamed the square to graze. The city's residents had wanted the park to be a place where well-dressed ladies could stroll without worrying about their skirt hems, but the farmers preferred that it be left as it was. In late 1840, the city council, angered because of the habit of farmers stopping off in the park with their cattle on their way to the slaughterhouse, ordered that a fence be erected around the square. Now, this fence would remain until 1885 and would be a source of irritation and conflict between the city and the county residents. Governor John Wood, Quincy's founder and first settler, was firmly on the side of the city dwellers. So in 1841, he planted a large elm tree in the middle of the square to solidify their claim to the park. Sometime during that night, vandals stripped off the bark and destroyed the tree. The city council, looking for a symbol for a city seal, commanded that the elm tree and the flagstaff on the square be adopted as the seal of the city. Because of this, John Wood standing by the dead tree was used as Quincy seal for some time. A statue of Governor John Wood leaning on the tree stump, sculpted by Cornelius G. Volk, was dedicated in the park in 1883. Later, the square began to transform, and in 1875, an ornamental fountain replaced an evergreen tree in the center of the square, along with brick walks that replaced the graveled paths. Washington Park has also played a very important role in the brief but tragic Illinois history of the Mormons. Driven out of Missouri in the winter of 1839 to 1840, there was much suffering among them. Seeking refuge in Quincy, a number of Mormons, on their way to Nauvoo, Illinois, pitched their tents in the square. They were treated very kindly and sheltered before they proceeded to their destination. On October 13, 1858, the 6th Lincoln-Douglas debate was held in the park. Quincy's newspaper, The Whig, reported some 20,000 persons were in the area to hear Lincoln draw from Douglas the admission that he favored permitting the states to settle the question of slavery within their borders. This statement won the election to the Senate for Douglas and also won the presidency 2 years later for Lincoln. In 1908, a granite boulder was placed in the park to mark the spot where that debate was held. This Historic Quincy Business District podcast was produced by WGEM. Special thanks to the Gardner-Denver Museum of Architecture and Design, the Historical Society of Quincy and Adams County, and Quincy Preserves for providing information. For more information, you can visit www.downtownquincy.com or walk to the HQBD office at 128 North 5th Street. I'm WGEM's Rich Kane.